We're killing in the middle of the day.
I don't even know what I'm doing here. There's another rock. Gotta get some go-go juice here. Oh, another ladybug. Good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful one. Beautiful day to go kill some more edibles this morning. And I don't know what we're gonna get into, but I'm guessing it's gonna be interesting. Gotta get some go-go juice here. Let's rock and roll. He's gonna beat me. Jordan. I even started his truck for him. Look at him go. So this is interesting. So this little, well, I'd call it a slough. It's starting to look more like a lake. This has no outlet. So the water this year has just been getting higher and higher and higher. And actually over the last few years, it's kind of been getting higher. And up here, I'll show you what the county had to do to the road ditch here, because it was actually starting to erode the highway here. And they did actually a fantastic job here. They rip-wrapped it with granite rock and then kind of made a decent shoulder, made it a lot safer. And then also saved the road because it was really starting to slough in there. Looks nice, but yeah, I don't know what the next step here is. It's actually starting to kill all these trees along the shoreline there. They're all dying due to high water. It's obviously been higher than average for a few years because these didn't die just this year here. There's no bark left on them. They've been dead for a couple years. I can get it all on one load. 20-gallon work, 107-acre field. So, as you can see, these are very green, but much to our surprise, probably as to yours, we came out here and looked, and I'm glad we did, because if you look at the plant, they're all like harvestable. Like, we're probably late to this field to kill it, because all the pods are dead. So that's actually why we desiccate edibles rather than like soybeans. It tends that the pods are ready, but the plant just don't shut down. To get on them and harvest them at a reasonable date and time, shut them down. Let me back in. The mosquitoes are unreal. Me and Jordan just got, well, we did our best to keep them off of us, but they're bad. There's no good way of doing this here field. To stay off the highway, it's not the best. The Jake breaks. Okay, now I gotta weasel my way in on the right rows. Okay, this one's surprisingly pretty clean. We did have this field walked also. Same result on the weeds regrowing though, unfortunately. Boom's set where I want them. Okay, let's get around this field. Ooh, that's pretty. Once again, boom height is high, higher than I'd like it to be, but there are weeds out here and we need to be above them, so that's why we're so high. This window is terrible, terrible. I just got off the phone with Jean and Lily. They're going in to get their 6-month baby photos, or Lily is. Other than that, things have been going pretty well here. These are some really nice beans. Like, yes, there's some areas in the headlands, and yes, there is a fair amount of spots like that, but they're small. And the rest of the field, besides what I've seen some white mold, I think some of these really dead areas are some white mold. But why wouldn't that have happened with a nice canopy? Ooh, that was a rock. You know, heavy residue. So there's another rock. the heck. But overall, I think we found some nice beans here. So we've got a few fields that are going to be really nice like this. So excited to see what those are going to be, and we're going to see really good ones and really bad ones. And the trenches out here are unbelievable from the Apache. I actually cannot believe that the Apache survived out here, because there's like 2-foot ruts in areas that I actually move over because I don't want to belly out anything, because that thing's got a lot more clearance than what this thing does. Well, I just reloaded. We're going to be doing from one of the best fields to definitely the worst field here. So it'll be interesting to see what I see out there, but obviously I see a lot of nothing this. So this should be fun. So for basically being nothing out here, I'm really surprised that the weed pressure isn't more intense. That really amazes me. Because typically if you have no canopy, the weeds just take over. But I think it was honestly so wet that the weeds couldn't even really grow. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Like, this seems like a waste of chemical even. Here's some beans though, on this hilltop. Oh man, she's rough. It's rough out here. So as I said, this spring this field was scheduled for this fall, which I don't know if it's going to happen or not now due to how all the tiling companies are behind, but it's supposed to. I haven't talked to them recently. It's supposed to be getting tiled. That's why we put black beans on. It is not a great candidate for black beans because of this. It is just a wet farm to begin with, and now this is what we get, but hopefully we can improve it. The idea behind it was hopefully it would be a drier year. They can get out here earlier in September and get some tile going. Well, now I don't really have a crop, and it's for sure crop insurance loss. There's no doubt about it. Unfortunately, raising black beans, we got the county T yield, so that is not a great yield for crop insurance. So likely there will be definitely what we have out here is probably not going to cover the inputs. Insurance is probably not going to cover the inputs. It might be close, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a loss. There's no doubt. But it is what it is. Mother Nature dealt it out, and now we're continuing to take it. It's kind of hard to decide where to spray and what not to spray because I kind of want to kill the weeds, but yet they've already made seeds, so on and off, we'll see. We'll get her done. That side of the field kind of looks better. It's a different variety. We're not going to be spraying that today. We'll probably be spraying that with this other field down the road, because they're not as mature as these are. So I guess with all that being said, it was probably a poor management decision to put black beans on this field. The intent was a different outcome than what we are receiving currently. That is what it is. I wouldn't have done it this way if I would have known it was going to rain 30-some inches. It's hard to know that when you're planning in the winter time though. With that being said, likely a lot of these areas would have been dead no matter what the crop is, or so highly suppressed that it probably wouldn't have made corn. Soybeans seem to have tolerated the water the best this year, but likely this would have been corn instead of black beans, so regardless it was probably going to be a loss.
Well, we're doing something a little different. Currently desiccating edibles right in the middle of the day. We had a shot of rain that came through, which it doesn't look like that at all due to the blue skies, but got a little bit of rain, hoping that softened the pods so that I can be out here spraying without shattering too many of them, causing too many losses. It's not very wet out here, so I don't think the rain hit as much on this field as it did at the farm, which is west of here a few miles. We're gonna kill these though. We still got a lot of rain coming in the forecast that will shut us down if what they're saying is true, and usually what they say is a fraction of what we actually get. At least that is true this year. We're killing in the middle of the day instead of at prime time, but this works. So 138 acres I believe that we have to do. I'm just going around the headland on auto path, which is very slick, and this field's big enough for 20-gallon work. We will have to fill twice to get it done, but no complaints there. Just trying to do it as fast as we can because the sun is back out and it is hot, and anything that was wet or tough in regards to the pods is drying quick. Whatever, I think it's the fall we're going to have to deal with because the mud is coming, I'm afraid. So this field we call the church quarter. Used to be a church just on the other side of those little trees, kind of sitting in them, that actually my grandparents went to for most of their married life until the church moved up 20 minutes away. They lifted it and moved it, and then they continued going to it up there. Anyways, hence the name. I will say I'm curious to look back when we're done harvesting the black beans. I think the church quarter is going to have the best yield because these beans look fantastic. There's the least amount of drowned outs, which is really going to put it above a lot of the other fields that look pretty poor. Actually, I haven't found a drowned out area in this yet, so, and there's not a whole lot of weed pressure. It's got potential. I'm excited. We'll find out in a week after we get 2 inches of rain starting tomorrow.
We got that done, and if you can see in the background, it sure looks as if it might start raining now. It's almost hilarious. We didn't even have a chance to rain today. I don't think it'll be much, but it's definitely coming this way. She's raining. It's pouring. It's pouring with the sun out. You know what that means, don't you? Rain tomorrow. Ain't that the old wise tale?
Raining. Sun's out.
Unreal, Brody. It's unreal.
You were out in the field with the sprayer today, weren't you?
I'm gonna make them uncomfortable. So we've met these wonderful people at the Big Iron Farm Show. They're from Australia. What part? I'm not familiar geographically at all.
We've gotten good at telling people where we are, about halfway up on the eastern side, about 5 hours in from the coast, so top of New South Wales.
Yeah, so we connected with them, and they're doing a little bit of a tour of the Midwest, and yeah, it's been fun. They got the tour case plant earlier today, and
so if you want to check them out, what?
Yes, the channel is the Jackson Brothers. We've got our own YouTube channel. I think we're the Jackson Brothers Farming on Instagram and just the Jackson Brothers on Facebook. So
if you want to check out more of them, they're interesting fellows. They like their dozers.
Yes, we do like our dozers. We're not the Jackson 5, so
look, in hindsight, I shouldn't have called it the Jackson Brothers because everyone goes to search us and it comes up with the Jackson 5, and I'm like, yeah, that probably made it difficult. So we've got two D11 bulldozers we have a bit of fun with. So we've got a playlist for those that are only interested in them, and the rest of it's just what we're doing on the farm.
Yeah.
But no, we appreciate your time and letting us show us around.
It's been great.
It's nice. We haven't had a bad experience in America. Everyone's been really kind. Even the border guard.
You're in the border guard.
Seriously, like everyone tells us, you got to just be straight down the line. Don't make any jokes. So we're all very proper, but then you sort of feel them out, and they're happy to joke around. And next minute they're laughing, we're laughing. It's just a great time. So
well, you had a better experience than I did.
They didn't want to let them back in. They let them out. They let them to Canada, but they didn't want them to come back.
You guys have got to come over to Australia.
Yes, do that.
Can I bring a kangaroo home?
Yep.
A skiing.
All right, guys. Well, you check them out. They're awesome dudes. Well, those guys were a fun time to hang out with and talk to. We went out to supper with them actually, up in Fargo, and they said they were going to be down in this neck of the woods, so we invited them here because, why not? So we invited them to come check out the farm, and spent a couple hours with them talking. Now I'm going to head over, and you'll see what we got for a project. It's a project that's causing me a lot of stress due to just logistical timing and harvest, but you'll see what we get into here. Mow a patch to where we can dump some gravel because we have a project. So we have made it to the shed, and yeah, we got Lily here. So we've had running water in the shed since, well, basically we put it up, but we haven't had a septic system, which is very needed. So obviously we have a bathroom in there and a dog wash and all that. So now we've got a septic tank. They did that yesterday. I was helping them a little bit. Then this is a little mound system. I can't remember what it's called. It's not a mound, but it's not a drain field. Then there's a pump tank there. So they got this all graded and finished up. And I believe they're gonna come back and throw some grass seed on it, Lily. Yeah, what do you think? So that's pretty cool. We got an LP tank here. So we got to dig a LP line into the shed for heat this winter. Last winter we just used the LP tank on wheels that we pulled over here and filled up, and that's what we used, didn't we? Yeah. So now we got a more permanent setup there. So that brings us to the next project, which is the stress level. As what I'm referring to is, obviously you see a giant pile of gravel here. That's about 500 yards of gravel. We got to bring in another, I think, roughly, possibly 1,000 yards of pit run. That's class 5. But out here, we're going to start preparing for the house build and getting the pad up to grade, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah. So I'd be less stressed about it if it wasn't like harvest season, because I know what this is going to entail. But they're hoping to have it framed by like mid-November, and I'm not positive if that'll happen, but that's their goal. So it's all starting to get kind of rushed, or not rushed, it just feels rushed because of my timeline with harvest. So anyways, yeah, we're gonna start that process. I'd like to combine the beans before we start doing dirt work, which it's looking like rain, well, so we won't be able to do dirt work anyways. But I need more room to dump gravel, so I brought the mower. I'm gonna mow off just a little patch where I can start pushing. I'm gonna pick a spot that's very suppressed, which, as you've seen, a lot of areas are. Actually, the best beans are right there where the house is supposed to be going. So we have Jean.
Yeah, I'm here.
Cleaning up, and now that we have running water, she's making it more presentable. We've got a plant now, and hand soap, but no toilet paper.
Yeah, you forgot the toilet paper.
I didn't forget it. It's in my pickup, but
I'm
that's
cleaning
not
the
here.
toilet though, but show them what.
What are we showing them? Oh, Jean's trying to be funny and has got a rubber snake. Think this will scare Dougal? I double took, but we gotta position that so Dougal finds that and sees the tail, and he'll just freak out. Lily likes hanging out at the shed, don't you? What?
I'm eating.
I see that. That's why I'm filming you. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what's the deal. The ladybugs are everywhere. They're all over the shed, on my neck. I smell them. They stink. Okay, so my thoughts are, so we are backing trucks in here and dumping them and using the dozer and the skid loader to push it up into this pile. But what we're gonna have to do here in the future is make a driveway and then excavate the black dirt off, pack back in. I believe we're maybe using some sort of sand, but I'm thinking this area the trucks can back off the road maybe, and making the pile here where there's next to no beans. I mean, it's, look at this, 1 pod per plant. So we're not out anything. Anyways, I am excited for this project. It is a little bit ahead of schedule, but we found a great company that's gonna lead the project, and they are looking for work to do. So I was hoping for a next year project, and I guess it's starting this year. So make sure to subscribe and follow along to see how this goes through harvest season. I know, like I said, it's probably going to add some stress, just because, you know, when you're in the combine, it's hard to make the decisions and be here as much as I might need to be. But why not? Why not? It keeps you on your toes that way. I know you can't see much because I can't either. Very dusty. very dusty for having some rain today. This thing isn't really doing much because they're so short to begin with that it's barely clipping off about 3 inches of them. Alright, I think that's good. I just did a little circle here so we can kind of do the same thing. Probably back in there up to here. Another ladybug. We'll just make a little pile there. Then we'll be able to harvest hopefully in 10 days or less, depending weather. This was what we sprayed earlier today, so hopefully it didn't wash off. I can definitely see it in the beans. Like this here is definitely what I sprayed doing its job. So hopefully they're dead in 10 days. We can harvest this and then maybe have some time in the mornings and stuff to do some dirt work. So I might take the skid loader and scrape this so it's a little flatter and get all that. I don't want any of these sticks or anything really mixed in with the gravel, but we'll see. It's probably gonna happen regardless. Look at this. That should have been good for a bean header. All right, I think that's gonna be a wrap. I took skid loader, took out the roots or drug it pretty decent. It's not a very big area, but kind of skeptical on how much. It was an estimate of how much gravel we would need. And after looking at that pile, it sure seems like another 1,000 yards seems excessive. I mean, to go down 8 feet deep under a grain bin is, I think, 1,800 yards, and they want 1,500 for this. It just seems, we'll see. I just want to get a pile here and get a head start that if we have to hire some gravel to be trucked in or something, it isn't the whole amount, because we can obviously save money using our belly dumps in our trucks. So that's the plan. Once again, subscribe, like this video, and things are about to get pretty exciting here in the next few videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.